Welcome. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah.
Amen.
And we are going to look at, let me get into our text and take a look as we continue this amazing story, this beautiful example of a literary piece. And that I like to sort of look at as historical fiction. It's not I don't believe it's fiction in the deepest sense. I'm sure it's based on realities, but I think the issue is to look at it from its literary point of view and to actually see what insights it gives us into living today, as I believe any really good fiction does. So we are having this debate between Jacob, otherwise known as Israel, and his son Judah. And they've run out of food. They need to go to Egypt because it's the only place they can find it. And of course, Joseph, who hasn't revealed his identity to the brothers, is insisting that they bring Benjamin down as well. And in fact, he has taken into captivity Shimon, who's back in Egypt at this time. And Jacob is extremely worried about them taking Benjamin. And so Judah is trying to convince Jacob that the only way they're going to survive is if he does this. So this is where we're going to pick up the story right now. And Judah is speaking to Jacob and saying, Anochi e'ervenu. He says, I will personally guarantee his safety. I will be his guarantor. And this is a really watershed moment for Judah, who, as we see, has been learning life's lessons and whose personality and his overconfidence perhaps has changed into something that makes him worthy of becoming a leader. But he is now putting himself into a tough position. And I think that the text wants us to compare Judah's response to Reuben, who back earlier had said that he would kill his two sons if he couldn't return with Benjamin. And that is not a helpful statement. On the other hand, Judah is definitely putting himself in a unfortunate situation, or potentially unfortunate situation, but he is willing to do it. And you'll see that he is going to be tested next Shabbat. So, miyadi tevakshenu, you will be able to demand him from my hand, literally. In other words, from the control that I have. Right? Imlo haviotav elecha, haviotiv elecha. If I do not present him to you, vahitzagtiv lefanecha, and set him standing up before you, I will be liable to you, kol hayamim, all the days. So he is really very seriously making himself personally responsible for Benjamin's safety. And underneath all of that, we have to understand his relationship to his father in this regard, how he is willing to do this.
So why is chatati translated I will be liable there?
Well, I will sin against you. So essentially, that's what it means, is that he's become now liable, that he owes him something. So lachato is to miss something, to have something missing. That's essentially where the word chet means. For example, it comes from shooting an arrow and missing the mark. So I felt that liable seemed to make the most sense in terms of trying to put it into English.
Yeah, because it does say here, I'll have sinned against you forever, but you're saying that may be too strong.
I don't know that it gets across entirely, in other words, in some ways it says, I will have not fulfilled, I will owe you something. I owe you something. and I'm going to wind up owing you, being in your debt. So let's take a look at the Rashi here. V'hitzaktiv lefanecha, I shall place him before you. The point, and Rashi gets us a little deeper on this. Shelo avienu elecha mate. What I'm saying, what Judah is saying, is I'm not going to present him, his body before you, sort of wanted, dead or alive. I'm not going to do that. He's not going to be dead. Ki im chai. So the hitzaktiv, to set him before you, that the major implication is that he's going to bring him back alive. So Rashi looks at this at the kol hayamim. What do you mean all the days? And this means l'olam haba, even beyond this life, even in the next world. I will be in your debt. I will owe you something. I will be liable to you. I will not have fulfilled my promise. And what that implies. Goes on to say, Judah goes on to say, Kilule hitmamanu, and that really it all together means, had we not delayed, ki ata shavnu ze pamayim, we would have already returned twice. We could have come and gone two times had we not been delaying for such a long time. Let's take a look. Had we not delayed. Al yadcha kfar hayin. Al yadcha means by your means. In other words, he's saying, you, Jacob, forced us to delay. You prevented us from going back. Kfar hayinu shavim in Shimon. We would have already returned with Shimon. And you would not have to have been troubled, right? Be upset all these days for such a long time, he's saying, right? Vayomer Alehem Yisrael. So after this appeal on Judah's part, Jacob simply cannot resist any longer. Judah has convinced him. He realizes he's Vayomer Alehem Yisrael Avihem, and Israel, their father. By the way, notice, of course, the number of times it puts Avihem next to Israel, right? How it emphasizes his role as their father. So Israel, their father, said to them, Im kain ephor, if this is the case, if this is all true, therefore, so ephor, now, something like that, zot asu, do this. Hu mizimrat haaretz, take from the best produce of the land, michlechem, in your utensils. V'horidu la'ish mincha, and take a gift down to this man. Ma'at tzori, and he goes, it's interesting, by the way, that the story specifies what the gift is. And I can't help but feel that there might be some mystical suggestion in the fact that it tells us the specific gift. So, ma'at tzori, a little bit of, I think it's myrrh.
It just says here balm.
Oh, well, yes, I'm sorry. I thought I'd written it in. Right, it's balsam. That's what
Here it says balm, B-A-L-M.
I know, which sounds just a little bit too general. I think actually, if you look, for some reason, I thought I had written it in, and maybe it's over on the next page where I have it. Yeah, no.
Sorry.
Yeah. It is balsam, is what it is.
Okay.
And like I said, I thought I had written it in. Oh, well, I guess I missed it. Let me put it in now. Whatever that is. Here we are. Thank you. A little balsam, uma'at dvash, a little bit of honey, nichot, which is some kind of gum, valot, laudanum, botnim, you'll see how, by the way, in modern Hebrew, botnim means peanuts, but I don't even know if peanuts is an old world produce or whether it's new world. At any rate, you'll see how Rashi gets pistachios. Ushkedim are definitely almonds.
So mine says balm, honey, wax, and lotus, and then pistachios and almonds.
Right. So laudanum, lotus, wax. Right. Rashi's going to translate the nochot as wax. He will.
Okay. Didn't mean to give anything away.
No, it's okay. That's all right. It's all right. No problem. Again, knowing exactly what this means isn't so easy, right? And it could be that sha'af in Aramaic means wax. It could be. By the way, lotus, letos. Notice that? So I don't know if laudanum is something that's made out of lotus. At any rate, that's dealing with issues of translation here. Okay, let's take a look. A4. So A4 spelled like this, I understand generally as meaning therefore. Okay, so he says kol lashon A4. Rashi makes a general comment here that whenever we come across this expression of A4, lashon yeterhu, it is actually redundant. It's sort of purely a utility kind of word. It's not something that really gets a translation. Letaken hamila b'lashon ivri. So I think maybe there's a comma here. Letaken hamila means, so it's a stylistic expression. Okay. B'lashon ivri in Hebrew. Im kain, if so. So what he's saying is, if this is the case, A4, if so. In Cain, A4, so. If so, A4 means if so, means the same thing. Is as dakek la'asot, I will require, it is required to do. Or is dakek la'asot, it is required to do. Let me see if there's, okay. Shalchenu imachem, that I should send to him, imachem, with you. Sarich ani lachazor, I am going to have to go back, ulevakesh, and seek out, aye po, where there is here, takana, something to make it even better, right? I have to look and see and go to even further degree a gift that he's going to enjoy, that he's going to appreciate. So takana, the eitzah is advice, right? Lahasiachem, to give to you. I need to give you additional information. The omer ani, and so I say to you, zot asu, do this. So what to sort of summarize what's being said, Jacob is saying, well, if that is the case, then I need to give you some additional support and advice and help in going back to Joseph and talking to him. Mi zimrat haaretz. So what's interesting is that zimrat, and Harashi is going to pull this apart. The word lezamer means, of course, to sing, right? To sing in a jubilant kind of way. So we've got this word that's related to zemer, to song, and we translate it as the best produce of the land. Meturgam mi dimishbach. So he says this is translated into Aramaic as the best, right? The most praised. Let's go on. Ba'ara, that's the Aramaic for the land, right? In the land. And he says, well, so why does Hebrew use this word? Shakol mizamrim alav. Because people sing over it. It makes them so happy to be consuming these particular items. Keshehu ba lo'olam. People are singing it when it arrives in the world, when it arrives. Nochot, so here we are. Here, sha'ava. So sha'ava is the more common word for wax. And he says, Bereshit Rabbah, that apparently in Bereshit Rabbah, in this grand midrash that is in fact extant. That's how they translate Nochot. Botnim. So he says Botnim. Lo yadati mahem. He says, I don't really know what they are. I don't know. I'm not familiar with this term, he's saying. Uva Perush Aleph Bet Shel Rabbi Machir. And he says, and in the explanation of the dictionary is what this is referring to, of Rabbi Machir. Ra'iti, I saw, Fushtatsias, pistachios. Vedomeli Shehem Afasakin. So again, Rashi probably is not familiar with pistachio nuts in France at that particular time. And he says, it seems to me, it resembles, domeli, to me it resembles Shehem Afarsakim, that they are, it's referring to peaches, that they're peaches. Well, I can just personally tell you that a tree-ripened peach is perhaps one of the most delicious fruits I've ever tasted. I've only had that experience. I actually remember being in the Cape Province, where they have that kind of climate down there, and being able to pick a ripe peach off a tree and eating it. Lauren, I know you're from Georgia. Have you ever had that experience?
Well, I mean, yeah, they do that in Illinois, but mine doesn't say anything about peaches here, but it does say Ifar scheme. It just doesn't translate it here.
Okay.
I don't know why. But I have to also mention, as opposed to Georgia peach, that South Carolina produces more peaches, but Georgia claimed the motto, the peach state, which made South Carolina pretty angry, but so it is.
Well, thank you for that additional bit of information. I had no idea, but I'm not surprised, I must confess. All right, let's go on a little bit more. Okay. The chesed mishneh k'chu b'yedchem, and take double the money in your hands. The et hakesef hamushav b'fi amtachotechem, and also the money that was returned in the mouth of your sacks. Tashivu b'yedchem, you shall return literally in your hands. Ulai nishkehu, perhaps it was a mistake. So the kesef mishneh, and double the money. Pishnayim karishon, twice as much as before, as the first time. K'chu b'yedchem, personally take, right? Take in your hands, literally. Lishbor ochel, to purchase food. Shema hukar hashar. Rashi makes a very practical point. It might have got more expensive. Not surprising, right? We can imagine. No one else has it. The market could certainly have gone up, right? Ulai mishkehu, perhaps it's a mistake, and Rashi explains exactly what kind of mistake. Shema hamamuneh al habayit. It's possible that the person in charge, shachachu, he forgot to put it in shogeg unintentionally, that he didn't mean to do it. He just simply forgot to take the money. Let's go on. The et achichem kachu, and your brother take the kumu, and arise, shuvu el haish, return, go back to the man.
No Rashi for that.
No. Going on. I mean, he is so concerned. For El Shaddai, and God Almighty, yiten lachem rachamim lifnei haish, may he give you mercy, provide mercy for you before this man. V'shilach lachem et achechem, and let him send to you, or return in this case, your brother acher, your other brother, right? Ve'et Binyamin, and Benjamin. V'ani, and as for me, ka'asher shacholti, excuse me, inasmuch as I am bereft, shacholti, or shachalti, I will be bereft. Nothing I can do about it. It's the way I'm going to feel. the El Shaddai. So me'etas, going on, me'ata, and with this from now on, enchem chaserim klum. Taking this gift with you and double the money plus the original money. You are not lacking anything. Ela tefillah, except prayer. The one thing you still need is a prayer. Hareini nitpalel aleichem. And indeed, I will pray for you. The El Shaddai, so this expression El Shaddai, Shaddai benetinat rachamav, that he, in giving of his mercy, he gives enough, right? He never lacks any mercy. Ukidei hayacholet biyado, and it is, in fact, he is capable, yacholet biyado, literally the ability in his hands. God is capable, litain, to give. God can give as much as God wants. Yiten lachem, may he give to you, rachamim, mercy. Zehu pshuto. This is the simple meaning of this text. Umidrasho, and taking this on a midrashic level, Mi she'amar lo'olam dai, the one who said to the universe, so much. This is it. Yomar dai litzaroti. May he also, in other words, who gave limits to the world, may he give enough limits to my adversity. Shelo shakati titi min urai, because since my youth I have not been at ease. Sarat Lavan, I had the adversity regarding Laban. Sarat Esav, the adversity regarding Esau. Sarat Rachel, the adversity regarding Rachel, when she, of course, the fact that she was barren for such a long time, and then she died in childbirth. Sarat Dinah, the adversity regarding Dinah. Sarat Yosef, the adversity regarding Joseph. Sarat Shimon, the adversity now that I've lost Shimon. Sarat Binyamin, and now regarding Benjamin, that this man is asking me to send Benjamin with you. This is creating trouble for me. V'shilach lachem. Just want to make sure it's shilach lachem. Excuse me. V'shilach lachem v'yifater lachon. So he's using the Aramaic here, and may he release for you. Ketargumo, as the Targum translates it, Yaftirenu mi asurav. Let him be released from his chains, his captivity, or from prison. Lashon chofshi mishalchenu. It has the same meaning as sending him free. Ve'enor nofel betargum, and you cannot translate this lashon vayishlach. You can't, even though it says v'shalach lachem, you can't translate it as send. Shaharei l'sham hemochim. The idea is that when it says send, we're sending it from here elsewhere. But the point is, it doesn't make sense because Joseph is elsewhere. He says, Shaharei l'sham hemochim, because they were going there, its Lord, to him. So it would have to be released, that he wasn't sending Shimon to them. Okay, he was just simply releasing him. Et achichim, your brother, referring, of course, to Zeh Shimon. This is referring to Shimon. Acher, so this word acher, which means another, is understood midrashically as Ruach HaKodesh Nizra Kabo, a sense of prophecy, a spirit of prophecy was cast into him, the Rabot Yosef, to include Joseph as well. And that's the acher, the other brother. Va'ani, as for me, ani ad shuvchim, until you return, heyeh shakol misafek, I will be bereft from doubt, from wondering if you're all going to come back. It is going to grieve me, make me feel bereft. Ka'asher shacholti, it says, just as I was bereft mi Yosef umi Shimon, bereft of Joseph and Shimon, shakolti, I will also be bereft, mi Binyamin, regarding Benjamin, I will also feel bereft. And I'm going to stop here for today. Excuse me. And God willing, I'm hoping to meet tomorrow. We've got just one more sentence, but we're going to stop now. And I'll stop the share and take any last minute comments if any of you have any questions or comments you'd like to make. All right. So that's it for today. Thank you.